Your failure to communicate inside your organization is costing your business thousands of dollars, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even millions of dollars. As you increase the size and scope of your business, add number of people, add complexity to the business, that decimal point will keep moving over to the right. Let's go ahead and see what we can do to solve it here. In this week's Learn, Think, Act, we're gonna go to the whiteboard and we're gonna apply jobs to be done framework to communication. And if you're not familiar with Clayton Christensen's work around jobs to be done, take a look at the HBR article where he talks about the job to be done of a milkshake. And here's how we're going to apply it to communication, specifically around meetings inside an organization. Number one, we need to understand what the objective is. So what is the specific goal? So the objective, the goal, the job. Let's have a definition here around what the specific job is. And if you think about jobs at a smaller level, each task that you do has a specific objective. If you're doing tasks that don't have a specific objective, I'd ask you this question: why are you doing those tasks? First, let's understand what the job is, what the objective is, what the goal is, what the thing is that we want to accomplish. The second thing that we want to understand are the circumstances. What's happening inside the operating environment? If we know what's actually happening inside the operating environment, then we can actually work toward achieving a specific result. And we're going to get into call planning here in just a little bit. I know you've seen that a number of different times, and it becomes repetitive, but what we're doing is we're building a communication skill and then applying tools to create leverage. Number one, we've got our goal or our job. Number two, we've got our kind of operating environment. What are the circumstances? Number three, what are the forces that are impacting change? What's actually going to impact change on either side? Like, why might someone not want to change? What friction might be necessary in order for someone to make change? This gets into things like stakes, risk, a number of different things that we want to do that potentially get in the way of our ability to change the way that we do things, to actually make a change. So we've got the job, we've got the operating environment, we've got forces that are impacting change. And then the last piece is design. Design. How can we actually design the thing to achieve the specific result? So how does the design achieve the result inside the specific operating environment and overcome the potential risk of those changes? That is jobs to be done in a nutshell. And now when we start applying it to meetings, here's a couple of problems. Number one, a job to be done of a meeting is to convey some kind of information, ideally. We want to convey some kind of information. Another one that I think we think about inside the communication that we have with people is we want them to make a decision, call to action. We're going to actually have them do something. So we want to inform, we want to decide, and then another one would be we want to collaborate. So inform, decide, collaborate. One of the things you want to think about in this instance is what's the specific job to be done of the meeting that you're holding inside your organization. And know that this is the kind of work that I do with teams that I work with as a fractional revenue leader, and have broken out a part of the work that I do to do this in a one-time only, if that is what makes sense, instance with an organization. So it becomes an early point of entry with me, actually helping you improve meeting effectiveness inside your organization in the context of collaborative meetings. So we can inform, we can decide, we can collaborate. Those are three jobs to be done of meetings that we have. Now, from a design standpoint, what are the things that we want to have in place in order to hold an effective meeting? And I'm going to go to this side of the whiteboard, and this is where we're going to get into that call plan. Number one, I want to know who is actually going to be in the room. If I know who's in the room, then I am in a better position to anticipate the second step, their objectives. What are their goals? What do they want to accomplish? And this happens anytime I'm communicating with someone. It could be a one-on-one communication. It could be a group communication. It could be an email that goes out. I apply this call plan framework, an effective communication tool, to each of those things. Who, their objectives, what are my objectives? What do I want to have? What do I want to accomplish? And then the last piece, what are the desired next steps? And I recommend that we have 3 desired next steps. Anything more than that, it's going to be really hard to stay on task. If we don't have next steps, then things are just going to get lost. This is where I get into the whole who will do what by when type work. So who will do what by when relative to next steps. If you understand the jobs to be done, inform, decide, collaborate, and you design your call plan effectively, then you can build out an agenda to help you get to where, keep things moving in the right order to achieve the result that you're looking for. I'm going to take this down and break it into some smaller parts here, but the key pieces that we want to understand is, do we understand what the job to be done is of the meeting, or the job to be done of the communication? Do we have a goal or objective? Have we established that? Do we understand the operating environment where the work is going to actually happen? What are some of the forces that might be pulling or pushing against things? How does that ultimately impact change inside the organization? And this change one's going to be really hard for a number of you leaders out there. If you believe that the benefit, the value that you bring to your organization is the amount of time that you're spending in meetings, you might be doing it wrong. You're wasting their time and you're wasting your time. As a leader, what we do is we help our businesses move forward. And the best way that I've found to help businesses move forward is by helping with clarity, removing obstacles. Let's ask those questions. What's working? What's not working? Where are we stuck? And then the third piece that we want to make sure that we've got in here is that design. So agenda. So we've got our jobs that we know what we're going to do. We've got the types of meetings, and then we've got our call plan and our agenda. And the agenda helps keep things stay on task from an organization perspective. And one of the things that I do, what I've found to be really successful, is limit meetings to no more than 90 minutes. And I know 90 minutes seems like a long time. My preference is to have shorter meetings than that, but if we're doing a collaborative meeting, no more than 90 minutes, no more than 10 people. And when I do those, when I guide those, when I facilitate those meetings, I guarantee results. We will either align on strategy and tactics to achieve a result, we will design a process, or align on how we want to solve a specific problem. Let's go a little bit deeper into each of these meeting types. The first type of meeting is that information meeting, where we are expecting there to be feedback, comments, and questions. Feedback, comments, questions. This is a loop. These feedback loops will help inform us on what did we communicate effectively, how can we communicate better as we go forward. If you're only delivering information and you don't want feedback and comments, turn that into an email. If you're looking at both of these, then that's where it earns the right to be an actual meeting. So we want information and the combination of feedback, comments, and questions. The second type of meeting that we have is one where we're going to make a decision. And in a decision-making meeting, just as a reminder here, we want to know what decision we're making. What is the specific decision that we're making? How are we going to make that decision? What are our criteria? And I'd like to have at least 2 criteria. If you go more than 2, you might get yourself into some trouble. It's going to create complexity. But 2 criteria. And then the last one is who. Who are the people that need to be involved in the decision? So information, decision, and then the last one, and this is the one where I believe that we waste the most amount of time inside organizations, it's the collaborative meeting. And those collaborative meetings can get aligned on either aligning on strategy and tactics to achieve a result, aligning to build a process, or aligning on how we're going to go through, use the collective intelligence of the team to solve a specific problem. And those are the kind of guided whiteboard sessions that I do. When you think about the waste that happens in either of these things, it's number 1, not having the right people in the room. We miss on the who's, number 1. Number 2, we miss on the agenda. And when I say the agenda, it's not the actual structure of the meeting. It's the agenda of the person who's leading the meeting. If someone is trying to run a collaborative meeting and they want to pontificate or demonstrate all of their knowledge and not really pull information from people, they're in one of those information gathering meetings, and maybe you're looking for some feedback and comments, but you're not going to have a level of engagement. So if people have the wrong agenda, you'll see engagement fall off. And then number 3, it's that lack of engagement. It's how do we enable and empower people to engage in the conversation, in the communication? If you can solve for those things, be really clear around applying jobs to be done framework to the meetings, the conversations, the interactions that you have with others. Being super clear around the type of job to be done inside your meetings. And I just laid out the 3 that I believe are the case. And then overcome the main challenges. You will reduce friction inside your organization. You will improve communication. You will start achieving better results, and you will avoid a lot of the failure that is happening inside your organization. And if I was to break down the failure that's happening inside the organization into like 3 categories, number 1, it's lack of communication. There's some assumptions. Someone said something, somebody heard something, somebody remembered something, and all 3 of those are completely different. That's one big challenge. The second challenge is not having clarity around who will do what by when. Getting to those next steps. So who will do what by when? And then the third challenge is we forget to remove obstacles that get in the way of people achieving those specific results. The who will do what by when. We throw more stuff on them because there's the doers inside our organization, and we just keep piling on. So accountability, who will do what by when, and heard, remembered, and said, and getting those things combined. Solve for those problems. Communication will get better inside your organization. You will save money. You'll actually make more money. If you are looking for help, if you'd like somebody to come in and do a guided whiteboard session with your team of up to 10 people for up to 90 minutes, and I guarantee results around one of these 3 pieces of the collaborative meeting, the solving a problem, aligning on strategy and tactics to achieve a result, or building out a process, you know a guy. If you know somebody who would find this useful, please share it with them. And remember, you can always find your catalyst at findmycatalyst.com.